What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be talking about 4 different nasty moves that wide receivers need to learn. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over the technique of the move in this video, and then we're going to be showing you guys some different drills that you could do to work on this specific move and how to apply it in a game time actual route. So I hope this video gives you guys a ton of value, but also, fellas, if you are a wide receiver and would like to train with us this offseason, we are coming out to 15 different states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver camps. So we're going to be coming out to San Francisco, California, Miami, Florida, Las Vegas, Nevada, Charlotte, North Carolina, Dallas, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Nashville, Tennessee, Buffalo, New York, Chicago, Illinois, Atlanta, Georgia, Houston, Texas, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Detroit, Michigan. Then we'll be coming out to Boise, Idaho, and Los Angeles, California. So if you guys want some more information on how you can sign up for those camps, again, check out that very first link in the description below. That's where all the information is. Let's get back to this video. All right, guys, so this first move that we're going to be talking about today is called a rocker step. So I'm going to show you guys the technique of the move, and then we're going to progress into some drills that you guys can use to work on each specific move. So we're going to talk about the technique, when to use it, and then obviously how to actually apply it. So a rocker step is something that you guys can use on a route like a post, like a corner. You can use it on a dig. Honestly, you could use it on any route, I would say, that is deeper than about, 8 yards, where you could break off of 1 foot. So let's use a post for an example, right? So let's say I'm running a post, and let's say the quarterback is to the left side of me, and I'm running, and I normally break on a post off of my right foot. A rocker step is a break where instead of breaking off just your right foot, it's like a 1-2 at the top of the break. So you want to step in the direction you are going first. So I'm running, I'm attacking a DB. Maybe I have a DB stacked in man coverage, and I step where I'm going to break first. Then I fake like I'm going back outside, and then I'm out on this post. So you want to step in the direction that you are going first. That's the key on a rocker step. So the technique on these steps, when I'm doing this move and I make this first break, that's not the most important step on the rocker step. The first step sets up the second step. This first step has to be a hard step inside your body frame so you can push and be able to sell the second step. Now, when you're doing this move, especially when you have a DB who's in man coverage, whether he's an off man, whether he's in press man and you have him stacked, his eyes are supposed to be watching your hips. So when you're doing a move like this, you have to sell it with your hips. When you're going up, you have to make sure that your hips are loose, you are selling the route, and when you throw that outside fake, I like to say that you want to turn your belly button opposite of where you want to go. So again, that's a rocker step. It's a 1-2 at the top of the break. Use it on any route that's 10 yards where you could break off of 1 foot. Use it against off man, zone, stacked him in press man. Now we're going to go over a great drill to work on that step. All right, fellas, now this drill is essentially going to be working on something called like a triple rocker step, if you will, but it's working on that same rocker step, just we're adding 1 more step to it just to get a little bit more reps on the movement and get us comfortable selling with my hips. So this is called a 4-cone rocker step drill. So what we are doing, we're going to be starting at this orange cone, and you set up 3 separate cones from the start point that are about maybe a 45-degree angle and maybe about 2 yards away from each other. So you're going to get in a stance, and on a go call, you could go at your own pace, whatever it is. Like let's say it's a set go call, you take your back foot and you're going to do something called a kick step. This is to create some energy off the ball so we don't do this move flat-footed. But what you're going to do is you're going to kick behind and lean into your front foot, and you're going to throw the first step of this rocker step to the cone. Toes are going to stay forward, but the goal is to keep your hips loose so I can sell this move. So I'm going to be here, set, go. We dip into it. 1, 2, 3, coming out. And it's like we're going to be catching a post, a slant, whatever. I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look semi-full speed so you get kind of what I'm saying on this. But this drill is solely about the steps, keeping your toes forward, pushing back and forth. They call this move a rocker step because you're rocking side to side. That's what sells the movement. So when you do this move, we need to make sure that we are rocking side to side, pushing off of my feet to get separation. Again, I'm going to show you this drill will look full speed. All right, guys, so this next move that we are going to be going over is something called a hesitation skip. So I'm sure all of you have probably seen this move at some point. This is a move that you could use mid-route, top of the route, or even off the line of scrimmage, but it's a great way to change up the tempo on a DB. So a lot of times you'll get DBs who are trying to read a wide receiver's hips. They're trying to read his body language, but what DBs also do is they also read the speed of wide receivers. If you're coming out with the same route tempo every single time, sometimes that makes it tough it makes it tough for us to be able to get separation because that DB knows the speed that we were running all of our routes. So this is kind of a way to change up that tempo, but it doesn't waste a whole bunch of time to where your coach is getting pissed off at you that you're taking too long with your route. So what this move is, or what this like skip is, it's essentially a double step, if you will. So I'm going to show you a drill that'll work on this, but what you're doing is like, let's say I want to do this mid route. Let's say I want to do it off of my 3rd step. So a hesitation skip would be 1, 2, hit my 3rd step. So again, I'll back up so you guys could see this. So it's 1, 2, three, and you take the same step again with your right foot, then you could get up into the row, then you could throw a move, whatever the case may be. So we're going to be doing this on a drill in a second for a fade route, which is a good time to use it to kind of change up the tempo, maybe get that DB to sit inside, and then take him over the top. But it's a double step. So if you wanted to use this on your inside foot, let's say you wanted to use this off of your second step. So like, let's say you wanted to add a crossover. Set, go, one, hop, 1, 2. It's just a double step with whatever foot you decide you're trying to hesitate on, okay? So I'm going to show you how this will look with a new drill that you guys can do. All right, fellas, so again, this next drill is going to be building off of that kick step. So again, you need just one simple cone for this drill. All we're going to be working on is a hesitation skip into a fade route, kind of off of a press release, just to get us used to like the rhythm of this, okay? So what we're going to do is you're going to start out here, left foot's going to be up, right foot's going to be back. We're going to take that same kick step and lean into this front foot. Then what we are going to do is we're going to left to left, take off. So right off of the kick step, you're taking 2 hops with your left foot to get used to the rhythm of that change of tempo and that little hesitation off the ball. How this actually applies into a live game, like let's say, for example, you want to do something called a speed release, right? DB's inside shade, you want to just beat him outside with speed. You could kick step and then just take off and go. So now maybe to change up the tempo on him, I do this kick step, I go 1, 2, and then I take off and go. So I change up the tempo. It looks similar, but my route tempo is different to get him to hesitate, slow down, and I could get some space outside. So I'm going to show you how this drill is going to look full speed. Again, great drill to work on that hesitation skip move. All right, guys, so this next move that we're going to be talking about is something I refer to as a box cut. So a box cut is, they call it a box cut, or at least I call it a box cut, because it is 4 steps at the top of the break. And like, how many corners are there? How many sections are there of a box? There's usually like 4 if you're drawing like a square. So I would consider this a box cut. But again, I'm sure some people call this a square cut. Some people have different names for it. You've probably seen the move that I am talking about. But I like this move solely on dig routes versus DBs who are in off coverage, either head up, or DBs who are outside shade, because we are faking an out route with this type of cut. I guess you could use it on an out route, but it would have to be a later developing out route, like off a play action, or maybe the quarterback is sprinting out. It is not used for a 10-yard or 5-yard quick speed out. I really like it on digs because usually those aren't timing based routes. So what this move would be, you want to try, and again, it doesn't have to be black and white perfect, but this is how I would teach it. You want to try to snap down with the foot closest to the break, right? So if I'm breaking to the inside, let's say my quarterback is to the left. And again, we're going to show a drill to work on this. Let's say my quarterback's to the left. I want to snap down with my left foot first. So it's a 2-step break. So this box cut is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a snap down 1, 2, crossover 3, 4, and we are snapping down with the leg first to the side of the break. Again, there are going to be times, especially like if it's man-to-man coverage, like if it's off man and you have to break at a landmark, sometimes you might break on your outside foot, and that's totally fine. But how I would teach it would be the inside foot first. So it's snap 1, 2, crossover 3, 4. So again, we're running, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And there's a little bit of tempo to this move because we were trying to make it look like an out route. Now, why do I like this against head up, obviously, because the crossover is a way to lose him. But why do we like it against outside shade? We like it against outside shade because if he's outside shade, say he's off man, and you had to run a 10-yard out, you would go right at his inside shoulder and you would break down and try to slip under him. So we make it look like that. We go right at his inside shoulder, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's looking like an out route. Maybe he turns out of there, and then we could get some separation back underneath. So I'm going to show you a great drill to work on this box cut. All right, guys, so I call this drill a stool drill because you are literally running in the pattern of like a bar stool, if you will, where you go up, you go out, and then you go back down. You don't need a quarterback for this drill, but if you do have a quarterback for this drill, have him located on this side throwing to you once you come off this red cone, and you'll get what I mean in a second on this, okay? So the steps on this drill is going to be based off of steps because we're trying to work the steps of the box cut. So right foot's going to be up. This is going to be off of your second left step. So it's your 3rd step total. So set, go. It's 1, 2, 1, 2, excuse me. It's going to be off of your 2nd step total. So set, go. It's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it's 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Coming out, got this break. So it's going to be off of your 2nd step on each one of these, okay? So it's 2nd step on both breaks. So let me walk through it again for you guys. We're working on the tempo of this box cut. So your right foot's up, set, go. That's your 1st step. 2nd step, we drop 1, 2, crossover 3, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, out. It's the entire drill, working on the tempo of that box cut. I'm going to show you how this thing's going to look full speed. All right, guys, really want to thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. Hope this video gave you guys a ton of value. Hope you guys can take those moves home with you, something that you guys can use when you're actually working routes with your team against a live defender. Now, also, fellas, again, if you'd like to train with us this offseason, coming out to 15 different cities across the U.S., all the way from San Francisco, California to Miami, Florida, all over the place, fellas. I'm sure we are coming to a state near you. So again, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out to one of our camps. I'll see you guys next time.